Hi, welcome to AT18, to our new version of AD Assist. I'm just going to walk you through some of the basic steps right now. And the first thing you're going to do when you go into the new program is to click in the upper right-hand corner here where it says Admin. And when you click on this box, it's going to bring you down another box that says Profile or Sign Out. When you go to Profile, it will allow you now to change the colors on your daily event screen. Home events will be, background will be white, and the typing will be in blue, and the home will be in red, just like it always was. Unconfirmed events, the way this one is set, is in a light pink, sort of a mauve color. Pending events are in this blue. Confirmed practice events will be in a green. And confirmed athletic group events will be in this yellow, and they've got it published, non-published group in blue. When you want to change a color and you want to go here to confirm activity groups or your rentals, you will just click on this square and it will bring you up a color chart here. When you scroll through the color chart here, that happens to be the green, we'll go back to the green. When you hover over the green and you click in here, it will show what color it's going to be on the bottom here. As you scroll through this, that color will get lighter and lighter up until it becomes white. And if you get darker and darker, it will get very dark. Scroll down, it'll still get darker. My suggestion, though, to you is to keep it as light as you can. I've seen some where they've made them so dark that you cannot see the typing through the color that's on there. And once you're done, you just click on it and then hit save. It will not change your colors automatically, but it will change them once you log out and log back in again. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to maintenance, which is on the left-hand side now instead of across the top like it was. You'll click on maintenance, and we've moved some different things in maintenance that never used to be here before. And one of the things in here, which was in there before, is preferences. And when you go to preferences, this is just a sample school. It's not on the regular school. You will go ahead and check your name, your street address, and so forth. And on the right-hand side here, there's this Social Security number on file. If you are a school that uses officials and uses workers, and you need to have their Social Security number for payment, you just need to put a check mark in here. If you don't need that, you can take it out of there. You just click it and it'll come out. When it shows the Social Security on your window, when you go into workers or officials, it will not show but the last four numbers. And then, of course, you're going to put in here what state organization you are from, because we have schools from different states, and then that abbreviation. The email address in here is the email address of the athletic director or whoever you want the contracts to come back to when you send them out, because they will go out electronically. Time zone needs to be changed. It's not an automatic like it was in the other system. You need to click on it. And because we cover the entire continent, it will give you all the time zones, and it will tell you, you'll have to put when you're in daylight saving time, and when you're not in daylight saving time, you would just hit the Central Standard Time. Right now we here are in daylight saving time. I'm just going to click on that. Those states who don't ever move, you won't ever have to change that. And then, of course, in here, your principal's name will go, your athletic director, and then you have text types styles that are in here. What you can do is when you click on here, there's three different types here. Normal type, which is exactly what it is. It's normal type. So if you hit like varsity will be V, but if you do like JV, your J will be capital and your V will be a small letter. It's just like normal typing. If you want everything to be in caps, you would choose caps. And then display as typed. This is the one I would really choose. I would go, I'm losing my mouse here a little bit. I would go to display as typed. And then if you're holding your shift key down and doing the V and the J with your shift key down, it will come up as capital V and capital J. Advanced security. This is only for schools who have multiple people that are using this scheduling program. It allows you to enter them in here so that they would log in with a different email address and a different password when they go in. It gives you the ability to be able to click on Advanced Security, and when you update, you will be able to put users in there and give them rights to whatever they are scheduling for. If you have somebody just doing academic scheduling, they could log in there and just change your schedules for academics and not touch your athletic ones. I'll explain that in a little bit better. And now, because we are now web-based, our program will allow us to send emails to the opposing schools, to the officials, and to the workers that are in here. The only thing is, you do have to have the email addresses of these workers and ADs and officials. So we do have the email address in here of our school, and we do want to send these email reminders out. They go out one day before the event. We have had a request to send them out possibly 3 days before and then a day before, and we have noted that, and that change will be coming a little bit later. Once you have done this, the other things that need to be done are all pretty much under maintenance. You would go in here to facilities and put in all your facilities. Any room numbers that you use, schools, high schools, of course, in here. And then you'll go in here, and when you check out your facilities, check that everything is in there. If you need to add a facility, you just click on the top here and add facility. I'm not sure of cafeterias in here. Well, I should probably search it out first. If you go to search and you hit the first letter of the alphabet of that word, you will find it in here. Cafeteria is already in here. So if you want to add a facility, you just click that add facility. It'll give you a blank line here, and you can go in here and then add your facility. And when you're done, you just hit your enter key. I'm just going to put something in here that's different. Let's do 185. I don't see a 185 in there. We'll try that. And you'll hit the enter key, and it will then go ahead and tell you that it is entered in there. Oh, I was looking for it. I'm sorry. You'll go here to add facility, and we'll do C185. Hit the enter key, and then it will automatically create that particular facility for us. Levels. Levels are the levels that you use for your sports. So we have a freshman A, B, a freshman B2, freshman C. It's written out here, freshman C. If you don't want this one or you want to use this one, you can go ahead and delete either one of them. I'm going to delete this freshman C and ask you if you want to remove that. You just say OK. When you want to add a new one, you do it the same way. You go to add level, and let me see what's in here. Let me go to the S, see what sophomores has in here. Okay, there's no sophomore C, so we can go in here and add a level, and we'll do a sophomore C. Oh, sorry, I'm not on my typewriter. Sophomore C. And then we'll just go ahead and hit enter. If you wanted to make it SOPHC, you can do that. So it just puts it in there in the level that you want. Manage users. I covered this just a little bit ago when I did preferences, and this is what happens when you put your users in here. You have the ability to go in here and put any users you want in here, anybody who's going to use the program. If you want your maintenance to be able to go in here, you can go in here and put your maintenance in. You can put them in here as an admin or just give them viewing rights. So this particular person is in here. I'm not sure, it's just a sample. They only have viewing rights. They have a password, so when they're going to log in, instead of putting the school name and Athletics 99, they're going to go in here, and this is their username, and then their password, which you don't see. If you need to change it, you'll just double-click on it and put a new password in there and hit the Enter key. Now, this means they only have viewing rights. They will not be able to change anything in here in events, contracts, seasons, teams, or anything. When you click on their little check mark down here, and we scroll down to the bottom of the screen, we now know that he has no privileges for anything. So if I want to give him athletic privileges so that he can see athletic events, I'm going to hit athletic, and I'm going to add that to that. If I want him to be able to see things that are activities, I can move the activities over. He doesn't need to see my unpublished information. I'm going to leave that blank, but if I want him to see, if this is my maintenance man, and I want him to see who's renting our facilities, I will add the rentals in there. I'll also add the fine arts. Common covers athletic and activities. You don't need to put it in there twice. Non-published is the events that you put in there that never go to the website. Once you've added that in there, you will hit save, and that will save him and give him his privileges. If I look here, same thing. This person has no privileges. I should go here. He has admin rights. He can change anything he wants to change, and he just has privileges to athletics. Once you're done with that, you will go in here, and I'm going to skip opponents. I'm officials. I'm going to go to opponents. When you go to opponents, these are the schools that you are going to be creating contracts for and putting in under your events. If you want to search a school, you will just go in here. If you hit the D key, it'll bring you all the D schools that you have in there. Deerfield, De La Salle, DePaul. You have no email addresses in here. If you need to go in here to put an email address in here, you need to do that. Working over the summer is a good time to try to get this up to date if you have not worked in it before, and get those email addresses of the ADs from these schools. If ADs have left, there are some ADs that leave at the end of the year for retirement purposes, or they move to another school. Make sure you put the new email address of the new AD that's in there, so that when the program does send out the automatic emails for contests, it will go to the right person. Let me just scroll here and see if I can find any. This is just a sample program. Well, let me delete this and let me try a different. Well, I don't see any in here, and we should have some in here. This is our sample program. Okay, Edison Trail here, we have an email address in here, and we have one in here for Bartlett. So those schools, if there's a contest with them, they will get an email a day before. The next thing you're going to do is to go to your officials, which is also under maintenance. And we'll go to officials, and we're going to do the same thing with managing our officials. They need to be in here before you can assign them to an event. You'll put their official ID number in here. And what's good about this program, in the other one you could not see the ID number. In this one you can, and if you click on the little caret over here, you can sort it by ascending or descending order. So if I hit this ascending order, it'll put them in here. If I'm trying to put an official in here and it keeps giving me an error, it's possible that number is being used in here. And then if you sort through here and you find the number, say it's this 150, and you look at it and you think, well, that's Ron Hacker. The one I have has a different name. You can go in here and figure out who should be under that particular IHSA number. You will put their name in here, put their home phone numbers in here, and of course their email addresses. you definitely want their email addresses so that they can get an email notification when the game is going to be played and they've been assigned to it. The Social Security number, if the Social Security number is entered in here, if I go to edit this and put a social number in here, 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure this is going to take it. And update this. I put it in there wrong. Oh, that's not good. Forgot how to do Social Security numbers. And then when I go back, it's been saved. It gives me that success bar. I've hit the enter key. When I go back, that's how the social number will look in there. It will just show you the last 4 digits. When we go in here, I will cover officials in another webinars that we will have, but that's how you're going to put your officials in here. And then when we're going to go in here, I showed you how to manage your users. Opponents, we did cover opponents in here, and that works pretty much the same way. And your preparation duties. Preparation duties are things that you're going to put in for your sports. You need to have them in here under your prep duties. You would put everything that you want done for any of your sports. So if you want the flag hung or you want the water jugs out, let's hit W, see if that's in here. It's not. So I'm going to add a preparation duty and put in there water jugs. Oops. However you call them. And then after you get that in there, you just hit the enter key and it will go ahead and it'll say successfully saved. And that'll put those water jugs in there now for order. If you want to go back to the very beginning, you would just click this, hit A, and it'll take you back. Oops. It'll take you back to that beginning of your list. You can put anything that you want in here. If you want your bases put out, or you want the plate set, or you want your chairs out for basketball, or you want the scoreboards lit, anything that you have in here, put in here, because when you are putting preparations in for a particular sport, they'll be in here and it's a click kind of a thing. Workers. The other thing that you're going to put in here will be your workers. If you use workers for your events, and you want them in here because you want to track their pay and you want to track what they're working, and you want them to get an announcement when the game is being played, you would put them in here first. You put in a worker the same way you put in an official, except there's no ID number. These have been brought over from an old system, so they're in here backwards. We suggest you put their last name in here first and then their first name. Some are in here right, some are in here wrong. You can fix them when you're working with them, and if you know that they're in here according to Brian as the last name, you can pull them up by that. The thing that's different in this program than we had in the other program is that our program will now estimate what pay, how much they're going to be getting paid. And because some schools go by a contract, a teacher contract, and some schools use a teacher contract and a non-certified contract. So if you're going to put in people that are getting paid through a certified contract, like a teacher, you would put them in here as certified and put their pay rate in here as whatever that a union contract calls for, or the school contract calls for. If they're hourly, because they're not covered by that union certified contract, you would list them as hourly and put in there what they're going to be getting paid per hour. And then after you've done that, you can put their cell numbers or emails in there. Emails, very important, so that they get an email before they're playing. And if you need that social number, you can put that in there also. And then when you scroll through here, I don't think we have anybody listed with an email address in here. But I would definitely put an email address in here. You hit the, I believe I can just type it in here. I believe he's M. Morris. .com. And then just hit the enter key. When you hit the enter key, it'll go ahead and give you that success, and it will then go ahead and enter that email in there. So now if he's working one of my events, he will definitely get an email from us. That's pretty much all I'm going to cover in this first group, which is what the basics is for the facilities, the workers, the officials in here, and your opponents. Events. When we go to events, we're going to go here to our daily calendar. Our daily calendar is going to show things in here according to what sport they're in. They're pretty much alphabetized in here. If they're not, let me see if I can go to a game that's not. These are sort of messed up. If you want to alphabetize them, you just click here and you sort them. And it will sort them so that they're in here in alpha order. Anywhere there's an arrow, you can do that. Or you can hide them if you want to hide them. This one you can sort by time, and it will then resort this column. If you don't need some of these, you can go in here and it'll allow you to hide those columns. You'll navigate through here the same way you did with the other program that we had. You just click on the dates and it will take you to that particular date. If you want to go to the next year, if you click on the month up here, it will bring up all the months. It will bring up the year. You can move this to 2019 or 2020 if that's where you're scheduling, and go to that particular month. So if I'm going to be scheduling in April of 2020, that's the easiest way to get there rather than be clicking through here and getting there through the months. And then in here, it'll show me what I have going. It'll show me my events, just like it did in the former program. If you click on here, it'll give you your bus schedules for the day, whatever buses have been ordered for the day. It'll put any preparations that you have created in here. I want my garbage cans position and my field line, and that's for a baseball game. It will list my workers in here, who I have working for this particular day. I don't see a worker in here, which is possible because this is pretty far down the way. No, I see no workers in here. And then your officials, any officials that might already been listed. I'm out too far. No, this is in May of 18. So it will show me if I have any officials listed in here, which there are not. When you go in here and you want to add an event today, you will click here on Add Event Today, just like you did in the old program. It'll bring you up to the year that you're in. You will click here where the activity is, and if you want to do soccer, you'll hit the S key. It'll bring you down to that part of the alphabet, and then you will just click down here. If I want to create a boys varsity game, I'm going to create that as a boys varsity. The description box here is used for tournaments, for invitationals. If you want to put homecoming on there, you can put homecoming on there. You are not going to be putting it in under the opponent or the opponent code anymore. If there's going to be two schools in here and you don't want to list them here under the opponent code, then you're going to go ahead and put in there also and then other school that's in there. You'll then go to your event date. It'll bring up the calendar and you'll click on whatever date you are scheduling this event for. When you hit the start time here, it'll give you a 2:45 start time. If I want to make this game at 3:45, I'm just going to click this, or maybe it's going to be 4:30. I'm going to just bring this down to 4:30 p.m. And when I click here, it's automatically a 2-hour default, just like it was. If you want to change it, and it's only going to be an hour game, you can go ahead and make it 5:30. I'm sorry, I'm not sure which way they go. And then make it a 5:30 an hour game. If it's an invitational, you can put the fee in here just like you did before. You will put in there $50 or $100, whatever it is. You'll then go in here and put home or away or TBA just like you did before. And then, of course, your activity here is a game, practice. I'm sure you remember if you do this as a practice, it's going to take your opponent out of there. If you do it as an event, I believe it does the same thing, takes the opponent out, and so forth. The only one that leaves your opponent in there is a game. So you click on game, it puts the opponent back in there. Any comments that you want to make in here only show on one report. You can put in here, bus will be late, team will be wearing away jerseys or home jerseys to our home game because their jerseys haven't come in. Whatever you want to put in there, you can. Or halftime is going to be 5 minutes longer. You then go to the opponent code. If you don't know what that is, the easiest way to go in here is to go to your opponent and hit the key of the alphabet and then just grab which one it is. If it's going to be DePaul Prep, you'll click on it, and DePaul is in here as DePaul. If you remember your shortcuts in here, then you can go ahead and put them in. Your facility, if it's set, preset, it will automatically put the facility in. If not, you will have to click here and pick the facility that you want. You will go scroll down here, and this is a soccer game, so there's probably a soccer field down here somewhere, or just a field. Well, let's say they play, I'm going to do M because I saw Malcolm Park in there. I'm going to do that. So they play their games at Malcolm Park. It'll put the facility in here. Once again, confirmed is just like it was in the other program. If you want it confirmed, you'll say yes, no, or pending. And it will change the colors for you, of course. So I'm going to do this as a yes. Roll over. If you want to play this game again next year and you want it to roll over, it's not an automatic rollover, it's a manual rollover. It will roll over to the corresponding date, and it will flip from home to away. I clicked on TBA here. So if this game is at home, next time when I roll it over, it's going to be away. If it's a tournament and you do not want it to roll over, flip, you will hit this static site. When you hit the static site, it will always keep this game as a home game. Impact event only lets you know if somebody else is scheduling on that date. It lets them know that you're impacting the entire school. Conference, some schools just want to roll over conference games. You can click on conference and it will then only roll over your conference games when you choose to roll over. Transportation needed. If you need transportation, you'll click this transportation needed button. And when you hit save over here, it will go ahead and it will give you a button down here for transportation, this transportation detail. I will go into transportation and things like that a little bit later, and notify changes and create contract and things like that. I will go over in another session. When you want to delete this event, if you've made a mistake or your boss comes in and says, no, we're not playing them, don't even put them in, you can click delete. It will get rid of everything. If you want to change the date, you just go in here, change the date, and then you hit save. And it will change the date automatically for you. When you go to your daily calendar, and we go to May 23rd, it will be listed in here. Here's that soccer that we did. And I did it as a practice, and it's that, no, that's not the one. Yes, it is. And I did it as a practice in there. So if you have any questions about any of this, you can always call us, and we'll go through that with you. And then I will go over the rest of these things in another session. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to call us. Our office number is 630-324-8501, or you can put a ticket in support. It's support.a218.com. Thank you.